you know, you want to try out different things. And for me, really, I've been not saying that I'm not going to carry on doing music. Of course I will. But that's not my end all and be all anymore. You know, I think I've really been enjoying doing the podcast series, and I think that's something that's really going to start becoming something very big for me. It's the future generation of where things are going. You know, we didn't have that back in the day, and it allows me to tell my personal story. When you're writing songs and you're singing songs, it's not allowing me to give you me. It's a fictional story. Eyes on You is a made-up story, right? It's a made-up story. Hit the Lights is made up. Down's made up. Do You Remember's made up. 2012 is made up. They're all made-up stories. So I figured the only way to really give me to my fans is through something like the podcast. So I've been working on the podcast, Basement Banter, signed a deal with Cast Media for that. And, you know, there's some TV work that I'm working on and stuff like that. So it's you know, we're doing a bit of everything.
And also, I'm going to ask you, like, you know, when, you know, the Asian industry, you know, 20 years ago, right, there was no such thing, or maybe longer than that, you know, 25, 30 years ago, whatever, or maybe when you first started, when you did things with Juggy and all the other great people, Rishi Rich, etc., there wasn't such thing as social media, right? You know, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Now, you know, because it was harder for people like you to make it, because you guys really worked hard. Now it's easy. You have to be good looking, or you can sing a tiny bit and then you put it on YouTube and hope for the best. What's your opinion about the music industry now? Do you think it's easier now for young people to become known quicker, or?
Honestly, a bit of both. I think if you ask me, there is too much music in the world. There's too much. Not all of it's good. There's a bunch of crap music out there, but it takes up the slots. You understand? So imagine now you're trying to dig for the gold. You're trying to get the gems, but it's covered in so much stuff that to get to those, it's so much harder to have a hit now. It really is. You could have a bona fide hit, but it's covered in thousands, if not hundreds and thousands of songs. And fans don't have an easy way to access that anymore, because you have to remember that there's too much choice now. If you went into a restaurant and there were 10 things on the menu, you only have 10 things to choose from. And eventually, if you go to the restaurant more than 10 times, you figure out what's your favorite, and boom, you just know the menu like the back of your hand. Imagine you walked into a restaurant and every time you go there, it's a different menu. You can't find your favorite thing anymore. You're like, wait, where was that chicken dish with the onions? You can't find it. It's too much stuff. It's cluttered. So even if you are a fan of a certain type of thing, it's very difficult to find. You know, it used to be they'd heard it on radio and that was it. So-and-so has a new song out. Now, let me give you an example. If you had to think of any artist off the top of your head and go, oh, I wonder if they got a new song out, you wouldn't know unless you were actively looking for it, would you? Because where would you hear it? If I told you, hey, Eminem's got a new song out, you'd go, what, really? Where? You understand? You'd have to actively be looking on his page every day, going on his Spotify and see if it's got a new song out. Because radio are only really playing a small part in this now. So the system has changed a lot. So I think to answer your question, it's harder to have a hit because there's a lot more competition, but it is easier to give yourself a platform because now we have digital platforms that allow you to just put your stuff out there. You no longer necessarily need to be signed to a label or anything like that, you know?
And I think
so it's easier and harder at the same time.
Good. And I think the fans would love to know. You've worked with some great people. Mary J. Blige, you did I believe you did a song with her or something like that, some kind of remix or something. You also worked on her singles. You worked with a variety of people. Who's the one person that you had a great memory with when you were in the studio or you were on stage or behind the scenes that you had a great friendship with, and also at the same time you got along and you had one of a great memory that you loved to work with that person?
I mean, there's no one person, you know.
Right.
I've done so many collabs, like 40,
not
50.
one person, but like one person that you, yeah, like you have a.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I've always talked of Sean Paul as being somebody who went from being a feature on my song to being a friend, you know, and because of the friendship that we maintained, we were able to do another song together on Make My Love Go, and had great success with that, and have continued to be really good friends. But you know, there's stuff I take away from a lot of different artists. Some leave their mark, some don't. Some is just a song, and some become friends, and some don't, you know. But from Mary J. Blige, I did learn a lot. From her, when we're on the set of the video, I'm so used to just lip syncing in a video because I can't hear your voice. So you just focus on sort of looking good, and you're just like, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I went, "What?" She's like, "No, you have to sing." I was like, "Why? They can't hear me. It's only recording my face. It's not going to record my vocals." She's like, "They have to believe you. They have to believe you when you're singing." I go, "Yeah, but we look ugly when we sing." She was one of those funny moments where, you know, you learn from some of the greats.
How's it like living in America? Before Ralph and Nicole jump in, because I know they want to eagerly jump in, but I want to ask my kind of question. How is it like being from London, moving to America, being around different accents, different mentalities, different work modes as well? How do you find it living? Because I know you've been living there for years now. Do you miss London? Do you miss living over here, or do you prefer? Because I know you've got a family, you've got a beautiful child.
Yeah, you miss your parents. You miss your. I miss my brother. I miss my parents. I miss my family. Sometimes I do miss the British banter. You know, I miss, which kind of just on a level that we just get it, and I miss that sometimes, especially with sense of humor. And there are certain things that kind of go over. You don't go over the same way in America. But I do like being one of the few in America. You know, I'm the only Brit in my town. I'm the only Brit walking around in these ends. It's kind of fun to be different like that. You know, you get a lot of people who are intrigued with you know, your culture and stuff like that.
Your accent. People love it as well in America, don't they?
Love the accent. You know, and it's just fun. It just keeps it fun and interesting, you know?
Good. Ralph, question after you.
Jay, you mentioned about your podcast. I'd like to know, like, you know, coming for the future events, you mentioned about, you know, getting connected to the fans. This may not happen for another year. So how do artists like you know, try to generate the revenue that you've been used to in the past? How do you kind of compensate, or how do you find that kind of a way to get back to normal?
Right. Well, I mean, luckily, you know, for me, because I'm a songwriter and I've written all my songs, you know, publishing is always a steady stream, a revenue stream, you know. So I think for us, it's not living gig by gig, you know what I mean? And that's something I think I'm very grateful for. But there are some artists who don't write their own songs, but I'm sure like some of them have endorsements and this, that, and the other. I don't, but you know, at the end of the day, you've got to remember that, you know, the entertainment industry as a whole is taking a hit. Everyone, whether it's sports, movie, TV, music, everyone is taking a hit, you know, and there are corporations who are losing billions of dollars. It's insane. This one virus has really done some damage to the entertainment industry in particular, because, like I said, they're one of the few industries that aren't necessarily able to adapt online. You know, you can't. They tried with sports, didn't they? They've tried to play the sports and put the fake crowd noise in. It's probably not quite the same.
Yeah.
You're trying. We are trying, right? But at the end of the day,
it don't work.
Certain things that you just need to be there in person, you know.
Nicole, question after you.
So Jay, I know music is a big part of your life, but aside from music, is there anything else that you're passionate about, or any kind of hobbies that you kind of do in your spare time with maybe your family or friends or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I've always been a fairly down-to-earth kind of guy, level-headed, normal bloke, and I've always found more joy in the real things in life, you know, the real relationships, friends and family, spending quality time with them, for me, has always been at the forefront of everything that I do in life, because I feel like happiness comes in accumulating moments of, of joy. And if you place those moments in something that is so fragile that it could be taken away from you at any point, that's a dangerous place to be. But family and friends are one of the few people in the world that you can pretty much guarantee are going to be there. Well, friends, come and go, but the true ones stay, and family you're stuck with. So hopefully they're good, and mine are amazing.
I've also got a question for you. I've got two questions, actually. When you get famous, like you're very famous when it comes to England, and especially in America, right? You say someone, do you know Jay Sean? Yeah, we know who Jay Sean is. Straight away. English, if you're black, you're English, you're Indian, people know the name. That's undisputable. Well done.
Thank you.
You come across like a very strong-headed person, which is good when it comes to, meeting journalists, knowing you can carry yourself very well. Now, I've read as much as I have about you, knowing, from friends, from family, etc. One question for you. Now, we're going to get a bit deeper because I want to know more about Jay and more about work. We know the work, but more about Jay as a person. Number one, everybody wants to be your friend. Everybody will be. When you're famous and you're rich and you're successful, you've got this and that, blue ticks and all that kind of stuff, everybody wants to be your friend. That's just inevitable. So how do you deal with that? Do you have friends that you can be around with, have dinner? I'll let you answer that question first. Yeah.
I learned very quickly that the celebrity world is very strange, and I don't take it seriously at all. I have very few celebrity friends. When I say friends, it's because I don't throw that word around loosely. If you're my friend, you really know me. You know me inside out. You know my highs, my lows. You know all sides of my personality. We might have had a fight before, which is very rare. I don't really get into fights and arguments. But if you're my friend, we might have, right? If you're an acquaintance, you're only going to get the best parts. You're going to get the, hey, how you doing? Oh my God, how you been? Yeah. And I'm not interested in it. I don't care. I don't care for it. I don't care about having, just sort of relationships on paper. I care more about real relationships. And my friends are such that I'm not surrounded with yes men. There's not a single yes man in my crew. If I do a song that's shit, my friends would be like, bro, it's all right. They're not going to go, you're sick, man. That's everything you do is brilliant, bro. I don't have anyone who gasses me like that around me.
Do you feel like you're at a stage where you've accomplished so much, but at the same time, you're just like, well, it is what it is. This is my life now. I am the way that I am. I've got a family. I've done well. I've got a name. Do you feel like you passed that stage now? We don't have to wait because when you first start your career, not you, but people when they first start their career, they want to quickly impress. You don't need to do that anymore. Have you gone past that stage now where you're just like, well, you take me how I am, and that's it?
I think that is probably the most important thing to be somebody that is going to make an impression in this day and age where somebody can skip right past you and unfollow you, mute you, and go over to somebody else. If you are going to be that one person that people decide to continue to follow and continue to watch your posts and like your posts, I think the only way to be is to be honest and relatable and truthful, because we can see past all the bullshit now. Back in the day you couldn't, but now it's so much easier to filter through the crap. And I think that the most realist ones are the ones that stick around. And there are some people, my favorite people who are coming up and coming are the ones who just seem really, really straight up. They don't look like they're putting on a front. And I'm like, I like you. You're genuine. I can pretty much tell that you're going to be like this the whole time. And I'm personally drawn to those kind of people.
Also, I read a story about you recently, and it's good that it's good that I kind of bring this up because I want to, because from 10 years ago there was stories and stories about this. Now you're very independent. You don't tolerate crap from anyone, which is good. You got that personality where if a record label doesn't give you the happiness or doesn't give you what you want. You're the kind of person that you know your music is worth something better than what they can give you, right? Now, I know reading from your thing, was it Virgin Records? You were at Virgin, is that right, at the start of? And then you went on to the American thing called Cash Money. You know, amazing, huge. Congratulations, like again, huge. But while you were going down your career, you made a decision where you didn't want to be part of that company anymore. You didn't want to. You decided to, you know, you felt like, I don't know what it was. I mean, there's always rumors in the media that people say, well, he decided to do this, he decided to do that. But you made a decision that you didn't want to stick with that company anymore for a period. And you went off solo and you did your own things. And you probably did much better than what they were going to give you anyway. What really happened in that? Because people always say, well, this happened, that happened. Nobody knows the truth until you ask you what really happened. What really happened? What made your decision to move on with your journey, you know?
In both situations with the label, we just weren't agreeing on what kind of music I needed to make. I think, although I am capable of doing lots of different styles of music, and I would ultimately classify myself as a pop R&B artist, my heart and my soul lies in music with feeling and depth and some type of substance and soul to it, you know? And that's where I began songs like Ride It and Stay, and Maybe. All of these had a beautiful pop R&B tone to it. Then there is such thing as going so far in the pop world where you just don't feel it anymore. It feels like you're chasing hits. And so-and-so has a song like this, and let's do a song like that. And I was like, guys, I'm find someone else to do that. I'm not your vehicle to copy this person. I'm who I am. I'm Jay Sean. I do me. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want me no more, it's cool. See you later. It's like being in a relationship and you love everything about them. You're like, why can't you be more like Caroline? She's like this. And she's like, that girl would be like, see you later, bro. What are you talking about? Go on, date Caroline then. So I don't ever want to be in a situation where they don't love me and appreciate me for who I am and try to mold me into something that they think is the version of that, you know, what I should be. So I was like, see you later. Thank you. We had a great run. Bye. Time to go. And that's how I was in both situations, with Virgin and with Cash Money.
Before Ralph jumps in, I want to ask my last question to you. Do you, you know, Bollywood, huge. I know you speak Punjabi because I've heard, you know, you speak Punjabi in another interview that you did, and you got very good Punjabi.
It's all right.
Good. Punjabi movies, Hindi movies. I know you did a small duet on the Asian Awards with Asha Bhosle. You know, would you ever now consider, I don't know if you have, but would you ever now consider actually really moving into Bollywood? Because you have the look, you have the hair, you have the, you know, what do you call it? You have the social media, you have the whole of England behind you when it comes to Asians. Would you consider moving into Bollywood now and getting into Bollywood films, etc., and maybe do acting or presenting? I don't know.
Bollywood acting in Bollywood movies, no, because I can't speak Hindi as well, you know, and Punjabi movies would be way too hardcore Punjabi for me. I can't even speak Punjabi that well, and it's just not who I am. It's not who I am. Look, I'm a singer-songwriter. I like acting, but to try to really like go and do a hero role in Bollywood is pushing it way too
maybe
far.
Not, what about playback singing? What about playback singing for Hindi film?
Of course, I would love to do scores for music for Bollywood. I would love to do songs for movies, but to actually star in the movies myself, it's not in alignment with who I am, and I honestly just don't think that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? But definitely songs for Bollywood, 100%. I have a lot of Bollywood friends who I would love to write songs for, you know?
And last question from me, then I'll let these guys continue. What's your next, I know Nicole asked you the question, you know, your podcast, etc. Maybe it might take a year until social distancing kind of warms up where people can come together in crowds. Are you planning to go on a tour, come back to London, do anything in America? What's your next thing? You know, because while you've been in lockdown, you must have wrote new music. Have you got any new tours?
I still wrote new music just before lockdown. I wrote music in February. So I got a whole bunch of songs to bleed through this period. And then, of course, once gigs start opening up, man, I'm going to be flying all around the world for sure.
Great. A Ralph question after you.
Jay, you know what, when you write songs and trying to release it and get it all the music done, how long it takes, really to put a top song out, as a record?
Well, I don't think you ever know what a hit is, you have a feeling. Some of the songs that I've written, I'm like, oh yeah, this one's gonna go. And then there's others that I've done where I'm like, it's all right. And then it ends up becoming a smash. And I'm like, well, I did not see that one coming. So I don't think you always know when a hit is a hit. And there's some which I'm like, guaranteed, I'm like, has to be. And it just doesn't move the needle. And so I'm like, you know what? There's no formula. I really believe that it is what it's meant to be when it's meant to be. Timing is everything. When the stars align, if God wants it to be a hit, it's going to be a hit. If it's not, then it's not, and all I can do is just have faith in the fact that I'm putting the right energy into writing it. I do know that if I don't want to sing it immediately, if I don't want to go and record it immediately, it's probably not good enough. I have to be excited enough to want to go and record it straight away.
We're going to ask you, before we wrap up, we're going to ask you 5 fan questions, quick questions for you, and then we'll let you enjoy your day. What's your favorite food when you go out for dinner? Like, just for fans, what do you like to do when you go out for dinner?
Well, I've recently become pescatarian, so I only eat fish. I gave up meat. It's been over a year. So now it's literally just fish. I'm the most boring eater. To go out to dinner with me, don't even bother. It's just fish and veggies.
Great. Nicole, a fan question for you.
So out of all the songs that you've kind of written and you've sung, which song is your favorite to even perform, or that you just prefer kind of to the rest of them?
I think there's different songs for different reasons. To perform, it's usually the up-tempo stuff. It gives me a lot of energy, gives the crowd a lot of energy. Make My Love Go is super fun to perform, really fun to perform. Crowd goes nuts. Ride It is always fun to perform because as soon as those drum hits, everybody knows what song it is and they go crazy. The screams are just insane, and allows me to sing it in a bit more of an emotional way. But I think probably one of the songs I'm most proud of is a song that was never really a single. It's a song called Jameson. And it's just a really, really beautiful, poetic song. Takes a while to figure it out, what the song's really about. You have to really listen to the lyrics, but it's a deep one.
Ralph, question for you, fan question.
Jay, what kind of sports you enjoy watching or playing?
I like to play basketball. I play basketball for my school. Of course, being a good Indian boy, I love cricket. And my dad is super into cricket. They don't play cricket much in America, so it's a little bit harder for me to get into that. But really, for me, I guess it would have to be basketball now.
And what do you like to do in your spare time? I know we've said maybe restaurants, but beside from singles, music, what does Jay like to do when you're not working and not being with the family?
I like to read. It switches my brain off. I love going for long walks by myself. I go for long walks for an hour and a half a day if I can. And I don't have anything to distract me. I'm not on my phone. Just take an hour and a half for myself to think and be alone and be with my thoughts, and I think that's something I really, really enjoy doing.
Last question as well. If you had to return back to your life, just imagine, you didn't want to, if you want to repeat 20 years later and just imagine music wasn't for you, what would you like to do beside music if it wasn't for music?
Well, it would be what I was going to do. It would be to be a doctor for sure. I still have a massive interest in science. I love the human body, the mind, and I'm fascinated by the human body. I'm fascinated by science. So I still read up on stuff like that. And I would have been a doctor.
And I'm asking all celebrities this because I think it's important that, people say don't talk about it because it's quite sensitive. Yes, it's sensitive, but I also think it's great for celebrities in your kind of position to, or maybe some people don't want to answer, some people do. But there was a situation with a gentleman, an actor called Sushant Singh, that was recently